Welcome to Buckets, brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. My name is Matt Moore. I'm the senior NBA writer for the Action Network, and this is your Tuesday best bets episode for the NBA playoffs on April 30th? April 30th in the association. We'll go through best bets. We'll give you picks for tonight, for tomorrow night, and get you all wrapped up on that. We'll get you sides and totals and all sorts of good stuff here. Make sure to check out youtube.com/the Action Network. We had a really bumping Buckets live on Sunday. We'll be bringing that back next Sunday. It's a really good show. Make sure to check out youtube.com/the Action Network. We're doing nothing but bet live on Tuesday. You're going to want to check that show out. It's an awesome show. It's got like cool 90s graphics. I have some ridiculous sunglasses I'm going to be wearing. It's amazing. Check it out. All right, let's get to it. Today's show brought to you by BetMGM. We've got Michael Fiddle. You can catch him on Twitter and the Action Network app at Fiddle's Picks. And we got Jay Money. Just had a kiddo. He's got that new dad magic going with him here on Buckets. You can catch him on Twitter and on his YouTube channel at JMoneyIsMoney. All right, let's go around the table and get our best bets for Tuesday. Jay, let's start with you. What are your best bets for Tuesday?
I'm taking Cavs -4.5.
All right, Fiddle, what do you like?
I'm on the Cavs as well against the spread, and I'll be backing the Pacers against the spread as well. 4.5 and 3.5.
Okay. I'm going to go with a total, and I'm going to play the total over in Cavs Magic at 200.5. That's going to be my play for the day. No picks on Sixers Knicks.
Terrified.
I lean Sixers because this should not keep happening to them, but I'm not going to bet it because it fucking keeps happening to them. Just like grab a rebound. Although I will say, just real quick on Sixers Knicks with the rebounding thing. If you go, I've got an article on Action Network. I'm doing basically running down all the playoff stuff you need to know. Check it out in the app. One of the things I did was like I linked to all the offensive rebounds. You can watch them. These were not normal offensive rebounds. The Knicks are an awesome offensive rebounding team anyway. Like they dominate. It's absolutely on them. Heart, hustle, all that thing. However, like some of this shit was like they missed a shot so badly it bounced off the backboard right into a guy that was cutting towards the rim's hands. And then like taking a baseline jumper, which should go to the other side. Kyle Lowry goes to the other side because he's like, oh, this is the normal trajectory of a shot. Nope. Bounces straight middle. Just like fucking carom straight middle into a guy's hands. One landed off the rim. Josh Hart and Kelly Oubre were tangled up basically in a wrestling hold. It flies right at Josh Hart's shoulder, which he just like taps up into the air for a tap back. Like the offensive rebounds were insane in that game. Anyway, no picks on that game. There's voodoo shit happening. I don't know. I give up. The Knicks are probably gonna make the conference finals. Let's do Pacers real quick, Fiddle. So this line in the Action Network app with the Pacers. Imagine if I told you back in October that the Pacers would be 3.5-point favorites on the road at Milwaukee for a playoff game. You probably would have said, "Oh, Dame Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo are out," and you would be right. If Giannis were to come back and this moves, would that how would you react to that news from a betting perspective?
That would be a huge deal. If I had a Pacers against a spread ticket, I would be looking for a way to indirectly hedge off of that, barring a Giannis news, and then you'd have huge minus CLV on a ticket because he would be worth probably 4.5, 5 points to a spread. And we would see this move from a current Pacers -3.5 to probably Bucks -2.5, right? He's one of the most valuable players in the NBA to a team, to the voting public for an awards race, and to the betting market on the impact on a spread. So if he was going to come back, that'd be obviously terrible, but it is not the greatest matchup for him. And the health reports around him have been more concerning than the public has been willing to take on. I was like, oh, he might be back for game 1 or game 2. Are we going to hear he's questionable? No, it was like, it might be 2 to 4 weeks. Yeah. He's probably going to be doubtful for the first half of the series. He might not even play in round 1. So I'm going into that trend. I'm willing to scoop up a -3.5 now. And I'm just relying on the fact that every single game in this series, Matt, there has been clear, sharp action on the Indiana Pacers, barring game 1, where all of the Pacers steam came in on the series price, and there was actually some value on a Bucks game 1, and they came out and they pulled it away. Since that moment, the Pacers have come to play, they've shown up, they've performed, and they've taken tons of money and they've made sharp bettors a lot of money. So I will play a minus 3.5 against the spread. I wouldn't be surprised if on Giannis out news, it ends up going to minus 3, 4.5, 5.5, even out to minus 6, which is why I'm willing to grab a 3.5 now, because late betting, the limits increase, which is very important to understand. Why do numbers move early versus late? And which ones do you value? Do you value an early move versus a late move? I love understanding how the market is moving late, because that's when the biggest bets are coming in. So if you see a Giannis out news and the line ballooning to 6, that is the books trying to get money on the Bucks. So if that's kind of how I'm foreseeing this, and I have a chance to grab a 3.5, sign me the hell up for that.
Love it. It's great analysis. Jay, you got thoughts on this game?
I don't bet against desperation. That's not what I do. So it will be the home team, the home dog for me, facing elimination. That's the only way that I can look. Obviously, I'm staying away from the Bucks. I do have them to win the series, so I'm going to sit and watch and hope that they win. But even if Giannis, I do think there's an outside chance that Giannis probably, I mean, he knows like this is the series right here. But I think that they gave them enough fight in Indiana. And I mean, sure, the Pacers would like to go and end it on their home floor as well. But something I never do. It's something I kind of just like built my whole thing off of is I don't bet against desperation. I don't do it in the regular season. I definitely don't do it in the playoffs. So I can only look towards the home dog here, even if Giannis and Dame are out. But I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Giannis gave it a go here. Obviously, it's not the best with them running up and down the court, but they gave them enough fight in Indiana in yesterday's game to give me a little bit of confidence that they could probably pull one off at the house and push this series to at least 6 games. So Bucks plus the 3.5 or nothing for me.
I just can't get. I think a lot of it is if you're the Bucks and you have two guys, one with an actually Achilles strain and the other guy with a calf strain, which is attached to the Achilles and it can lead to putting more wear and tear on it. You cannot risk them getting hurt if you're just like, we're probably not getting out of the series anyway. Because we can't get both of them back. And even if you do, they're probably gonna have to miss more time. It's just a lot. And here's another thing, to be quite honest with you, if you're people that are making these kind of decisions, it is better for you to have a series where you can be like, what can you do? Got Dame and Giannis were hurt. Wasn't nothing wrong with the team. Forget the fact that our defense was a dumpster fire. That was a regular season. We would have been fine. So to me, this seems like they are very likely to be okay with maybe regrouping this summer. Although I don't know, like we'll see what happens. Dame's still not happy. I think there's a lot of questions with what's going to go on in this game. Fiddle, is there any other like part of the cap here that we missed with you, just in terms of like why you like this spot here for the Pacers?
No, but I also think like sharp props in this series have been Haliburton's over on his rebounds and Siakam's over on his points. They might be priced out at this point where they started at like 3.5 for rebounds. They're up to 5.5 now for Haliburton. If you could still find Siakam's points prop below 25.5 and Giannis is out, that's a smart grab.
Okay. All right, let's get to the other one. So the Cleveland Cavaliers at home facing the Magic. I have a lot of frustration with how Cleveland played in Orlando. This should have been a 5-game series. I don't know what happened to them. I'll talk about that in a second. But Jay, give me your cap. Why you like the Cavs minus 5.5 here?
Yeah, in the playoffs, it's not really like an extensive cap. Like with some of these games, you take with who you think is going to win the series. And I'm still really confident that the Cavs can win this series, even though they had 2 duds. I mean, listen, they came out with a lot of force and playing a lot better, a lot more freely, a lot better offensively as well in the first half of Game 4. I thought that they could win that game, and then you just go out there and get absolutely smoked, 37-10 in the third quarter, just absolutely crazy. But I mean, the Magic, they're a young team, they feed off their home crowd, and I just feel like this is an absolute must-win spot for the Cavs. Everybody, like I don't care what adjustments you have to make, bigger staff jobs on the line. Everybody, Donovan Mitchell, like all of these guys, man. This is an absolute must-win spot for the Cavs. They're back at the house. I'd be really surprised if they lost the game. Could it happen? It's very possible, but I will back the Cavs. That's going to be my best bet for Tuesday. I'm rocking with the Cavs here, minus 4.5. I've been on them this whole series, especially game 1 and game 2, where they didn't trail at any point in game 1 and game 2. Then you go out there and get smoked in Orlando. So unfortunately, Matt, this might be a 7-game series, but I'd still be very surprised if the Cavs didn't get out of it. I mean, you asked for this matchup. It's like you go. I mean, we know the Magic are a great team, but they're still a young and upcoming team as well. Whereas the Cavs already went through this shit last year. You can't get put out in the first round here once again. It can't happen, man. So I'll rock with the Cavs here. I'll live with it. I'll live with the results regardless of what happens.
Cleveland sports history is like, oh, it can't happen. It can't. Is that what?
It's not happening. They're winning this fucking game. They're ending this. You know what? For your sake, Matt, they're winning this in 6. They're gonna close out because I know you got Cavs -1.5. They're winning on Tuesday, and then they'll close it out in Orlando.
Jay just said, Cleveland, this is for you.
Yeah.
Fiddle, why do you like the spot?
I grabbed it at -4 on the Cavaliers. It's consensus -4.5 now.
Yeah, I misspoke, by the way. It's not -5.5. It's 4. It's consensus 4.5. But
there's 5s
4
popping up, which is very interesting for me, right? Because we've kind of seen this series. I talked about this a few times on Buckets. It's been the best priced series, whether that was a pre-series line of like -195 on the Cavs, whether that be the totals hovering around the low 200s, whether that been the game prices. It's been very well priced, but I do think that we could back Cleveland when they are at home. I did it in games 1 and 2. I will do it in games 5. And if we need to, game 7, they shoot a lot better at home. You could look for Sam Merrill threes. You could look for Karis LeVert threes. You could look for Donovan Mitchell, or even Darius Garland gets his shots up and they look for him to create some plays for him now. They shoot so much better at home, and I simply can't trust the output of Orlando to now do that on the road. Franz Wagner, I consider him, sometimes I laugh at myself. I like to be self-deprecating and joke, and I know I'm pretty good at this, but I put in a Franz Wagner most improved ticket, and I genuinely think he might be least improved. Yeah. So I was cracking up at that ticket, and now I can't go the other way and say now he's got the juice to keep this going on the road. He was incredible at home for Orlando, and they're going to need that version of him. I don't think he shows up on the road. I trust the experience of Cleveland more. So give me the Cavs at a number that's been priced lower than games 1 and 2 were.
Here's my hesitation. I've got 2 hesitations and the reasons I'm not going to tail. You should tail if you're listening to this, just like food for thought. One, I was surprised when I looked at this because I was like, I actually had this power rated with like Cavs -2, and I was like, that's weird, huh? Like, it's kind of strange. Mostly because the Cavs like regular season home performance wasn't as good as some of the other teams. They shoot better, but their overall performance wasn't as strong. The other thing that really concerns me is this. Cleveland's offensive process. So like I went back and watched the Cavs offense in this last game, and it was just baffling. Like it was a series of just what the fuck are you doing? Like everyone's gonna talk about the Magic offensive explosion and be like they can't do that again, which I think is a pretty good, like that's a simple basic good cap. Like Magic offense won't travel, Cavs win game. And that's entirely possible. A reason to back the Cavs might simply be that maybe their offense can't be this bad again from a process standpoint. Like they were just walking into so many matchups that like you just don't want to try. They were just constantly getting flummoxed. And what was really baffling, they got the shit kicked out of them in pick and roll by the Magic playing 2 at the level with Wendell Carter Jr. That's like the switch that actually turned the series. You could be like, well, it just went home. The other thing is that Mosley went back to Wendell Carter Jr. starting. He got over like the Jonathan Isaac fad and was like, hey, let's get the more established NBA player that knows how to run pick and roll out there. And that may, I think, seriously have helped the series. I'm taking the over. And the reason I'm taking the over is either Orlando's found something. Because like, I will say this, there is like a non-zero chance at least that the first 2 games of the series were the Magic being like, holy shit, the playoffs are hard, and being caught off guard by that. And then finally like getting back home and being like, no, we can do this. It's still basketball. We can do this. This is all right. Because the Cavs weren't good enough to shut the door on them. Or from Fiddle's cap, Sam Merrill shoots the lights out. They hit like a billion threes and the Cavaliers win this game by putting up like 120. Entirely possible. So I like the over. I won't be on the over anymore in this series. You're going to hear a lot about this week. Everyone talks about Game 7 unders. The Buckets like official play every year is Game 6 unders. We love a Game 6 under. They're absolute bangers. So I'll be ready for Game 6 unders, but I am a little worried about the Cavaliers here based off of process and some other things. But we'll see if Jay, who says there's no way they're losing this series in this game,
Can I ask Jay a question about this game too?
hit it.
Are we allowed to say that this is a desperate Cleveland team? Are we allowed to use the desperation factor on Cleveland because they need this one?
Desperation. This is an absolute desperation spot. Everybody, Garland, like these guys can play good defense, man. For whatever, and like I said, I like what I saw from the first half. Now, if they went out there and got absolutely boat raced in Game 3 and Game 4, like Game 4 was the bounce back spot in my opinion. The fact that they came out with something in the first quarter and first half shows me something. They just absolutely fell off the cliff in that third quarter there, man. It could be Magic, the home crowd or whatever, but Jared Allen, Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, we're gonna need Max Strus as well. Darius Garland, these guys can lock in. This is an absolute desperation spot, especially after what happened last year versus the Knicks. We know who the Knicks are. I just don't give. I don't think Orlando is to that level yet. So bad Game 4 bad second half of Game 4 for the Cavs, but the Magic are a great team. I won't discredit anything they do, but I'm still rocking with the Cavs here. Sometimes you just kind of gotta go with your gut, and I'm still rocking with the Cavs. I think whoever you think is gonna win this series, you take this game. So I always tell people, like, if you think the Magic win this series, you take them in this pivotal Game 5 here. But I got the Cavs for the series. I'm laying the points. I think they win this game by double digits.
They better win. They better. Everybody's gone if they lose this game. Everybody's gone. So, all right. That's going to do it for buckets. Fiddle's on Pacers and Cavs. Jay's on Cavs. I'm on Cavs Magic over for the game. We'll be back tomorrow with best bets. Make sure to keep it here. Make sure to go to youtube.com/theaction network. Tune in for nothing but bet on Tuesday afternoon. We'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Till then, let's get buckets.